Good afternoon and welcome to the May 4th meeting of the Rotary Club of Orlando. I have to say, may the 4th be with you. Have to say that. I'd like to extend a special welcome to all visiting Rotarians and guests today. We're very happy that you could join our meeting. And I'd like to have a friendly reminder to remind everyone to silence your cell phones if you have not done so already. I'd like to start out the meeting with an invocation from past President Rich Ungaro. And Rich, you were expecting this, right? Okay. All right, thanks.
Club secretaries wear many hats. We ask God's blessing upon this meeting and on the people of goodwill everywhere. May we prove ourselves devoted to truth, sincerity, fellowship, given to service, and confident in the steadfast faith. Help us live our lives to your capabilities and commit to the four-way test. Amen.
All right. Thank you, Rich. Now, patriotic music from Ken Chapman.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Rotary Club of Orlando. We're all Rotarians and we're all Americans. So today we're going to sing the national anthem. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Go Dogs.
All right. Thank you, Ken. Now to introduce all of our guests and visiting Rotarians, Mr. Craig Landre, Mr. Craig Burgess.
Hello, everybody. Happy May the 4th be with you day. It's my pleasure to welcome and introduce formally our guests for today. And I would ask when I announce your name, if you are a guest, to please stand and remain standing so that we can provide you a proper, sweet welcome. That is our tradition at the Rotary Club of Orlando. Denny is a terrific host today. I think Denny has 3 guests. First guest of Denny is Emily Young. Emily, welcome. Next guest of Denny's is Anna. Hi, Anna, welcome. And our next guest of Denny's is Sheila. Welcome, Sheila. We have from our youth services, Terry Partlow, the better half of Peter, right? Yes. And along with Terry, we have Lucas. Welcome, Lucas. And last but not least, a guest of Rich Ungaro, Charles Martin. Where's Charles? Welcome, Charles. Okay, folks, how do we greet our visitors?
All right, thanks very much. I'd like to take this time to offer a special thank you to one of our members. Can you hear me all right? I'd like to take this time to issue a big thank you to one of our members, past President Pat Phillips. Pat had a social at his house this weekend. It was a good time was had by all, as they say. It started out a little iffy because, okay, let's give him a round of applause, okay? So we really appreciate opening up your home for us, Pat. And for me personally, opening up the garage was really a big hit for me because he's got 5 antique cars lined up in his garage. 2 Model A's and 3 Model T's. Is that right? Where's Pat? Is that? Well, it's 3 and 2 anyway, but it was a great time. So now I'd like to ask Bill Pieper to come up and talk a little bit about the golf tournament, which is coming up this Monday.
Finally, we're having a golf tournament. John's sorry he can't be here today. He'll be later, be here a little later. As many of you know, he had a death in the family, and there's a memorial service today. First of all, Heidi is here somewhere. Don't sit down, Heidi. Let me turn you upside down, the right side. This is the swag bag that has been sponsored by Heidi's firm, and we appreciate it very much, Heidi. Oh, and fans, all right. Now, a group of you have volunteered to help stuff these swag bags after the meeting, and we're going to meet downstairs behind the lift, if you will. I'll be down there to direct some traffic. Hopefully we can get them all stuffed. And if any of you have any SUVs with extra space that you can spare until Monday, well, we really need some help. To be honest with you, we kind of dropped the ball on planning for a secure area to keep these swag bags after we have them stuffed. So if anybody has any extra SUV or van space, we would really appreciate your help, and just see me after the meeting if you would. I think we have 82 or 82 players. Our goal was 88. Not bad for the first time out. So we're really excited about it. Those of you who have signed up to help, we really appreciate it. It's going to be an interesting day, I think a good day, and we're going to generate a lot of revenue for Second Harvest. So thank you very much for everybody who's participated in this event. Appreciate it.
Thanks very much, Bill. And Bill, I think we need a better round of applause than that for Bill. Let's get one more time. All right, thank you. That's better. And I got to say, Bill is one of these super Rotarians that does so much for this club behind the scenes. And it's one of these thankless jobs that a lot of people don't even realize he's doing it. But the Wednesday edition comes out every single Wednesday, and he puts a lot of work into that. So just that alone will qualify him. He also does that for the district as well. So Bill does a lot for the club, and we really appreciate all you do, Bill. Now it's time for Happy Dollars with Calvin Gardner.
Happy dollars. Here we go. Tommy?
Calvin, I've got 2 happy dollars, one happy dollar, one sad happy dollar. I just came from Bob Stein's funeral. Sandra and several of you were there. Jim was there, and what a great philanthropist was Central Florida. He was the father of fast foods, Wendy's and McDonald's. He went to Nashville and opened like 180 stores in Florida. He was greatly successful and a member here at one time, but he did so much for charity. So my sad dollars to our 2 members who aren't here today. They're over at the funeral reception, Joe Stein and his brother. They had an older brother who was a great Floridian, and I'm glad to say he was my friend. Happy dollar is for the lady in Gator Orange back here, Candy. I was flipping channels Saturday looking for one of those new football league games, and I came upon this channel that was about financing of houses and getting financing now to buy a place. And I thought, well, I'll listen because everybody's moving to Florida. They need a place to stay. Candy was the star. Candy had on a business suit. She looked like she owned the mortgage company. And she was dressed to the T's. And when he called on her as an expert, I said, I know Candy. I didn't know she was an expert in finance. But Candy, you were great on television. Do it again.
Thank you, Tommy. Did you have a
Well, I've got $2 happy dollar. One is Ollie Phipps. The other is for Jim Salt for all the help they did for the party Saturday night. They came very early and they left very late. So, and I don't see either one of them here today.
Thank you. So I had a happy dollar. It was supposed to be for my wife. She was supposed to make it today because she doesn't make lunch very often with us. But I was telling her about who was here for the artificial intelligence discussion 2 weeks ago. A little scary. Told her all about it and she got a kick out of it. She said, you know, it's funny, you're the opposite of artificial intelligence. I said, how's that? She goes, you're real stupid. I don't think that was a compliment.
Hope everybody gets a chance to meet Sheila Burrell and her friend Emily Young. The reason why they're here is actually because of this one. Here's the star. Her daughter Anna, she presented to 1 million cups. This little girl knocked her socks off. She did such a good job of starting 1 million guppies as an organization to help promote not so much entrepreneurship, but just confidence in being able to lead amongst little children in our area. So Anna, we owe you a lot. You did a wonderful job. Oh, speaking of 1 million cups, we're going to be moving back in 3 weeks, 2 weeks from this coming Tuesday to Rollins College. We're going to meet at the Bush Auditorium. I wish some of you people would come. We meet every Wednesday at 9 o'clock. You can come earlier if you want and listen to the board meeting. It's fabulous. It's all about entrepreneurship and helping people to achieve their dreams.
Thank you, Danny.
I have 5 happy dollars. One to say thank you to Pat for Saturday night. That was a fabulous outing. Another one is to say thanks to all of you who attended the district assembly last Saturday morning. And to announce also that the assembled presidents-elect passed 3 very important things. Number one, they passed the budget, the district budget for the coming year. Secondly, they raised the membership dues for district dues by $5 to $50. And finally, they passed the motion to incorporate the district so that we will no longer be an nonprofit association. We will be a 501c4 district. And as chief of staff, I can tell you that will solve a lot of my problems. Thank you.
Thank you, Dick. I forgot to tell everybody today's money is going to the Rotary Foundation, so give often. That artificial intelligence thing was a little scary at our table. Everybody was wondering whose job was going to be replaced. There was one guy, he said, they're not going to replace my job. I said, why is that? He goes, well, only an idiot would do my job. And I looked at him and I said, I think you're right. Anybody here? Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I actually love artificial intelligence. My computer died last week. Had to do everything by hand. Took me over a half hour to deal out the solitary. Good. Good luck today.
So I have a happy dollar for Terry Partlow, my YO. Thank you for your service. Thank you for everything you've done to me. As for Mr. President, thank you for sponsoring me and for all you guys. It's been a great year and I'm really excited to tell you guys in a minute how was my year.
Thank you. Oh, I got some more.
I hope you'll allow me to brag a little bit. My 11-year-old grandson, whom I've bragged about before, as you know, his first sport is golf. His second sport is tennis, and he won the country club junior tennis title last week. So not bad for a second sport, right? Thank you.
Thanks, Bill. So what he didn't fail to speak about the artificial intelligence was that they said if they could get to 10% of what humans could do, we could replace all the politicians.
That's true. I got 5 happy dollars since this is going to the Rotary Foundation. And just like to mention, there's an easier way to give to the foundation. You can send them $85 a month and you can be a Paul Harris Society member.
Thank you very much. This is our personal foundation that was here today, not the international one.
All right.
Sorry.
All right. Thanks a lot, Cal. Appreciate that. Okay. If I seem a little bit distracted today, our Sergeant at Arms could not make it today. And he usually handles a lot of the things that I'm trying to do right now. So I'm a little bit like a juggler, running the camera and the sound and this, which they said could not be done, by the way, but I'm doing it. Now I'd like to call up our exchange student, Lucas Seleti. Let's give a hand for Lucas. Come on. First of all, you have a banner for me, right? Lucas? Oh, here we go. Oh, there it is. All right, we're going to exchange banners here as soon as we get the photographer ready. It's ready? Can you get a little shorter? Ooh, all right, there we go. Oh, and that one too. All right, here we go.
Thank you.
All right, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
That take
there we
that,
go.
and I will get your slideshow started.
Oh, where's the?
Yeah, you're gonna be on this mic here.
All right. The slideshow. So good afternoon, Rotarians from Central Florida, Orlando. First of all, my family is watching it from Brazil here. So, pai, mãe, obrigado por entrarem. So after 10 months, that's the very end. And I'm very, very excited to come here and tell you guys how was my year. First of all, this year would not happen without you guys, without sponsoring me. Thank you, and thank you. So this is the first slide. Well, yeah, this is the first slide. So we were on an island in Georgia with my host brother, and we took this amazing picture of the sunset. It was pretty cool. So the second slide is going to be dedicated for the host families. So I had 3 host families, the Malones and the Vicarious. And this is my first host family right there. Oh, I have to keep close to the microphone. So they live in Lake Conway here in Orlando. It was an amazing part of my exchange. I was going to Boone High School. Is it fine yet? Okay. So I was attending Boone High School here in Orlando. It was an amazing part of my year. Boone High School is really, really a good school. I really had a great time there. Good education too. And then in January, I moved to Sanford, Seminole County, and I'm now living with Jen Ferguson and the Vicarious. So this is my second host family. So Jim is the dad, Jen is the mom, Evan and Ireland, they're siblings. So I have a special thanks and mention to my host brothers. So that's the person that has the same age as me. They both are 17. So it was awesome to share with them every single moment. So we would leave school together, go to school together, make cool stuff on weekends. So special thanks to Luca Malone, my first host brother. This picture, we are at Explorer Stadium watching a soccer game. So he doesn't really like soccer, but I do. The second one, it's me and Evan on the day of that picture I showed you on the first slide. And the third picture is at Ace Hardware, where my second host brother works. So it's me and him over there. So the third slide is gonna be dedicated for you, Terry, and for Mr. Peter. Thank you for what you've done. So I don't know if you guys know, but I spent spring break with Terry and Peter at New Smyrna Beach. It was awesome. So we went fishing. It was a big fishing day. We had a very successful day. And it was just awesome. I really like New Smyrna. Thank you, Terry. So I really want to thank the exchange students. So this year we are a small group. So we are about five exchange students. So from Italy, Thailand, another girl from Brazil, and Victor from Spain. So we have like 5 of us here. It's been amazing. So we are a small group. So we are really, really close, which is awesome. I want to thank Jen and Michelle. So Jen is my host mom, and she is the chair of the program as well. So she is the big boss, and she's really, really amazing. So I had a hard time in December, and she really, really saved my exchange. So my parents were like committed to bring me home, and she really, really arranged it so I could stay in the United States. So she really saved my exchange for the last 6 months, which was crazy and amazing. The second one is Michelle. Michelle is the inbound coordinator. which is kind of the vice chair, if I could say. And she is the person that's always available for us. So you can call her at any point. She's going to pick it up and help you. She's also the bureaucracy person. So she's always running the forms and all stuff. And she has always had us in our house for parties and for hang out with her kids. So she's really, really, really amazing. Thank you, Michelle. She's not here, but she's going to see the video. You guys, thank you. So this slide is dedicated for you guys. And I was trying to define the word sponsor in my mind. So the closest I could bring from the word sponsor is to believe. So you guys believed in me. So I feel like it's a lot of responsibility right there. So you guys are paying money for me to be here. You guys are giving me the credit for being sponsored by the Rotary Club Orlando, which is a big deal. And you guys are giving me a visa to be in your country. So thank you for that. And also last week, I forgot, you guys, last month, actually, you guys donated money for our prom, which was crazy. It was awesome. So we had a driver who drove us to prom, and you guys donated money for that. Thank you. So I also want to point out that as you guys believed in me, I felt responsible enough to study hard and make sure I was going to get good grades here in America to make you guys proud. So here goes. I have a GPA of 4.36 right now at school. I made 2 times the principal's honor roll, which is straight A's, 2 times. And I got 1230 on the SAT. And I also am a WordPress certified this year. So it's like a website that makes websites. So I'm certified for that. Thank you for sponsoring me, by the way. So I also want to tell you guys what Florida means to me. So I came to Florida with my family twice before coming on exchange. So actually to Orlando twice. So I knew where I was going, but I really didn't know where I was going actually. So the Orlando for me was a whole different thing. So when we came here, we came for shopping, for Universal, for Disney. I know you guys don't even like these things, you know, you guys hate Disney and Universal. And that's why we come. So we're from Brazil, and you guys see how the Brazilians are crazy here. They come here for shopping, for, you know, driving and enjoying Florida. But when I moved here, I was actually living here, going to school in Orlando. I was like, I remember calling my mom and my dad, like, Dad, that's so different. Like, we don't go to Universal every weekend. Like, it's crazy, right? And then I also remember that we never did anything outdoor when we came to Florida. So once I was living here, we did tubbing, lake days. I learned how to ski, like water ski. And it's something that I never imagined was about Florida. Let's go, did Florida actually have lakes? I didn't even know that when I came here 2 times. You know? So Florida, that's the first picture is in 2016. So I was a little kid and we went to Universal. There's a picture in front of the globe. And this picture is actually 3 months ago. So I'm in the same spot. I just probably grew like 2 feet maybe along this time. So I really want to share with you guys what we think about Florida and now what I will bring home. So when a lot of people come to Florida, especially Orlando, and I really want to tell them like, hey, dude, yes, you can go to Universal, you can go to Disney, but make sure you go to New Smyrna Beach, make sure you go to the Everglades, maybe make sure you go outside, you know, just leave the outlets, leave Disney alone. You can go there, it's fun. Not gonna lie, I really enjoy it. But make sure you go in all the cool places Florida have, right? And this is more, so I really want to show you guys that I made outdoor stuff, right? So first picture is at Gatorland. Yes, the mouth is tied, so, you know. So the first picture, it was actually my first month here. And my first host family said, well, Gators are pretty cool and I think you will enjoy it. So we went, you guys know what's Gatorland? Okay, so we went to Gatorland and that's the cool picture I took right there. Second one was also with my first host family. We went to Lake Simi State Park and we camped there for like 2 days. So we didn't have an RV, so it was an actual camp, which was awesome. I really, really enjoyed it. And we went kayaking and I saw gators around the lake I was kayaking. So I was like, I can't sink this kayak. You know? And the third one was in Palm Beach, maybe? It was close to Melbourne, I'm pretty sure. And we went fishing for like an hour after a lunch. So we went to a host family's relative's house close to a shore. And then I just cast my fishing net there. Surprisingly, in 5 minutes, I fished the shark. So it was crazy. I have never fished a shark before. Actually, I really like to fish, but I used to fish on rivers, so it's like freshwater. So I'm not used with saltwater. Saltwater fishing is actually pretty brutal. And I was like, oh my God, what the, I like cast it and it's like, what the heck is that? Oh my God, it's huge. And then when I brought it, it's like, oh my God, it's a shark. What should I do? Do I have to cut the line? Should I put my mouth in there? You know, my hand in there? So it was awesome. Oh, I don't think it's working anymore. Yes, sir. The switcher's not working here. Oh. Can you change it? All right, so more pictures in Florida. So this first one in this slide was in St. Augustine. I don't know if you guys have been there. So there's the church, and then you walk down, and there's this first school in the city. The second one is at St. John's River. So we went for a lake day. We saw the manatees, and we took this great picture. And the third one was the hurricane day. So I was here in Orlando, and we got a foot of rain, right? And then I was bored at home. We didn't have power for 2 days. And then my brother goes, do you want to go out? And I go, can we go out? Because like it's a hurricane day. And he goes, yeah, we can. So we got the bikes. And this is on a, I don't recall the name of the place, but it's a park very close to Boone High School. No, it's not like, yeah, I think it's like Davis. Yeah. And then we took our bikes. So this place is a lawn. So it's like a grass place. And it was full of water. And we just biked there. It was awesome. It was pretty cool. And then for winter break, they took me to Utah. And I'm not sure if I got freezing temperatures before coming here because I live in Brazil. It's a tropical place. It's very, very hot over there. And they took me to see snow for the first time. I had never seen snow, you know. And then the first picture is in front of the ski school. So I took one lesson in the first day so I could really learn how to brake my skis. So I don't, you know, ran over things. The second pictures on the third day, I was like ready to go. My host brother, he just pushed me down the mountain. That's how I learned. I figured it out. And the other one, the last picture is Evan and Arlen, my siblings. And this is a frozen lake. I'm pretty sure it's a frozen lake. And we just walked over a river. It was awesome. So again, the picture at the theme parks. The second picture was at the NASA in Cocoa Beach, right? Is it Cocoa Beach? So Cape Canaveral. And the third one is in Gainesville with the Swamp Stadium. I know you got some Go Gators here, you know. Yeah, it was really cool. So Kurt, Rotarian from Lake Mary, he went to Florida and he's a really Florida fan. And it wasn't football season. It was, I think it was like in December. No, I don't remember actually when was it. So there was a basketball game in Gainesville and he really wanted to take us there. And I think he wants us to go to Florida or something. I don't know. But he really wanted to watch the game. So we went to the Swamp Restaurant. I don't know if you guys have been there. It's an awesome one. So we had gators. We ate gator bites over there. And then we went just to watch the basketball game. And then we did a little tour. So the stadium was open and I took this picture. That's a big stadium, right? And that's prom. So prom was 2 weeks ago. And so again, thank you guys for sponsoring our ride to prom. So the first picture is in front of the lake where I live, where Jen has a place. So the first picture is actually, I'm dressed up, ready for prom. The second one is me and the Brazilian lady. So she's an exchange student too. She's here in Central Florida. And the third one is all the crew. So from left to right, that's Oscar from Thailand. The second one is Lou from Brazil, the same from this picture. The third one is a host sibling from Lou. So she's from here. And the fourth one is Matteo from Italy. And the fifth one, Hugo, it's me. So thank you guys for sponsoring again our ride for prom. And then thank you. That's my last slide. I really have to say it was an amazing year. I really, really enjoyed. I want to say how glad I am to be in Central Florida. Like some of my friends from my district, they are in Nebraska or Kentucky, which is small places. There are no people there, you know. And I am in Orlando, which is a big deal, you know. It's a place where it's a place where everybody wants to live. Like back in Brazil, if you ask the person to name 3 cities in the United States, he's gonna name Orlando, New York, and maybe Los Angeles. I don't know. So I'm really, really glad. I really want to tell you guys how was the moment I figured out I was coming to Orlando. So first of all, can you keep the last slide for me? So I first got an email telling me that I was gonna go to the East Coast for 10 states, and Florida was like all the way down there, and then it would skip Georgia and all the states in the middle. So I go, oh my God, I'm never gonna go to Florida. There's no way. So, and I have never heard of exchange student who's going to Florida. And then I got another email which was saying I was going to go to Florida. I was so happy. Oh my God, I'm going to Florida, warm temperatures, looks like home, big Brazilian community, And then I got a third email saying I was going to live in Orlando. And I go, oh my God, yes, I was right there. And then it was awesome. Like my first host family, they would live by Lake Conway, which is right by the airport. And they had a boat. So we would go boating all the time. That's where I learned how to water ski. So I really, really, really like Florida. Florida is special for me. I'm taking Florida back home. And I'm sure I'm going to be back here soon. I really, really like Florida. Bring my family loves Florida too. So they're going to be back here. I'm going to make sure they're not going just Universal and Disney. And you're going to make some cool Floridian stuff. And well, I want to thank again, Terry Partlow and Mr. Peter for having me for spring break. Today, she drove like 30 minutes to pick me up back in Seminole County. So thank you so much. Rotary Orlando, thank you so much for sponsoring me. I know it's kind of expensive having exchange student. I really know, but I try to make sure I was making good use of you guys' money. And I also want to say thank you for my friends, both Boone High School and Seminole High School, where I'm going right now. Amazing people, really, really nice persons. And exchange students, the people that we spend more time together. So we are now close to each other. We are all living in Seminole County. So we're seeing each other pretty much. Actually, 2 of them go to Seminole High School. So I have class with them. We have lunch together every day. It's amazing. It's awesome. So the 3 families you're going to see there, they are host families. So the Cooks are they are the Michelle's family. So she's the inbound coordinator. Thank you. She had me so many times over there. Russells, this is the Brazilian lady's host mom. She's taking me to school every day. We live like maybe a quarter mile from each other, which is nice. And I was riding the bus at 5:46. The bus was sent to stop at 5:46. And then she figured out, she said, do you want to ride? And I go, yes, I do want to ride. So I'm not waking up at 5 a.m. anymore. I'm waking up at like 6:15, which is big. The Valentes, those are Mateo's host family, the Italian boy. So actually this weekend, I'm spending the weekend there. So they had me so many times for the weekend. They have a pool, they have an amazing house, a very cool house. So we spend a lot of time together, which is awesome. They are very nice people. Rory, I really want to thank Rory. So my grandpa was past district governor. My dad is past president of our club. I've been like in Rory since I was a little kid. I remember going to the Rotary assemblies, Rotary districts, since I was a kid, running back and forth on the Rotary meetings. And, I was raised over there. And I was a member of the inter club back in my city. I'm a member of inter club now here at Seminole High School. So Rotary is really, really kind of part of my life. And I really want to thank you guys for being supportive for Rotary, because you guys make big changes in the world, keep doing that. And thank you for the United States of America for having me. Thank you, you guys, Americans who are who are hosting me. And you guys really have a very, very, very cool, organized, and very developed country. So congratulations for having this country. And thank you for having me. This is all I have. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you for my family who is attending the meeting. So that's it. Thank you.
I think, we have another part of our program today, but if there's a question or two, wait a minute.
We budgeted a little bit extra for you in your year-end trip.
Thank you.
Here's our check to,
Thank you.
for $400.
Whoa,
for
my
you
God.
to
Thank you so much.
Have fun on
Thank
your
you.
way back home.
Thank you so much. Thank you again, guys. Thank you.
All right, thanks again, Lucas. That was a great program. Now continuing on with the program, but different subject. We're going to switch the program over to President-elect Chris Whitney, who's going to talk about this club going forward into the next Rotary year. So Chris?
Thank you. I think I remember the line on Johnny Carson's "Never follow children and pets." That's quite a presentation, and mine's not near as colorful with beach shots and images from the theme parks. What we're going to talk about today, eventually we'll have a slideshow, are committee assignments. And I think there's, communication is a big part of what we're hoping to do this year. At the district governor's presentation at the club assembly, I guess it was called, on Saturday morning, we had Saturday morning club assembly, Saturday night at Pat's. Back to basics is our District Governor Don's theme this year. And I think it's very important for us to remember. As we look back, our club was 250 people not too long ago. And so when I look back, I'm not looking pre-COVID, we're looking way back. So what we want to do is to capture a phrase that I'm going to steal from Rich Ongaro, is we really want this hour every week to be, okay, thank you, to be your best week. Your best hour in your week of being at Rotary. But further, I think you'll hear me say this before, and I'll probably say it until you're tired of hearing it. Rotary is not about Thursday at lunch. Rotary is about taking credit on Thursday at lunch of all the wonderful things that we do all week, all month, year around. Throughout history, Rotary has been, all of our events have been championed by a few and enjoyed by many. And you hear the old stories of 10% of the people do 90% of the work in organizations and those kind of phrases. But we have such a rich history of great things going on. What we're hoping to do is to expand that a little bit. Part of the program for next year is to identify people who are passionate about things and then bring the horsepower of Rotary to that project or that person. And we actually have two people who have taken me up on that. And we're gonna call on these people to just sort of briefly in 1 or 2 minutes, because we followed a great speaker and I don't have a lot of time. So Chris, you get to go first and just tell us about our idea for the fall. You can, you can come to the mic. Then Candace, you can come up because you're next.
All right. One of the things we've had the poker tournament, we've had the golf tournament coming up. Well, next year we're going to venture into something I don't think the club's ever done. As he said, I'm a passionate cyclist. And so we're going to be looking at hosting a cycling event by this Rotary. Another Rotary, Lake Mary Rotary, does it. And they run the Charities for Champions up out of Lake Mary. The goal is we're going to get Florida Freewheelers, which is the largest cycling club in Florida, behind us. I'm a member of the Florida Freewheelers, know the president, the directors, and they're behind it right now. We already got Kyle's Bike Shop on board. Bike shops are important because they're what we call, they'll be going around repairing bikes as they break down. Has anybody in here been to a cycling event? If you haven't, it is large. I always volunteer the one. We have the Horrible 100 out in Claremont that we're a part of. It lives up to its name. It is horrible, especially when you got to climb Sugarloaf Mountain at mile number 80 and you're dead. You got to climb it and then come back down and you got to finish the finish line. The ride consists of, so you have an understanding, usually a 25-mile ride for those that are novices or want to bring their kids out and just do a short ride. Then you do a 35, a half century, a metric century, and then the century. And the century will be between 100 and 102 miles because you can never get it right on the exact mark. We're going to start out at Festival Park, come through downtown Orlando, venture down into Osceola County, over to St. Cloud, back up, cross over to Seminole, and then back into here to get the full route. We'll have different turnarounds and different routes if we're going to go smaller. It's a great time. But to give you an idea, the Horrible 100 that we had over 2,000 riders from around the world. There were 18 different countries represented there. There were 2 from Brazil that I know of.
Is that the same cycle event that they do for the Ironman
You were talking 2 minutes.
Okay. Sorry. It's not the same thing. Okay, it's a whole different event. Think of Tour de France. That's what you're doing. You got to ride and long and you train for it. So I'm done with my time because I was told 2 minutes. So
So he's begging for volunteers to help sign up with his committee. Candace.
So yesterday, Chris gave me a call and this is something I've been passionate about and speaking about in many rooms lately. It's something that I really thought about doing in retirement, but it looks like maybe with the help of all of you, we can brainstorm and bring it to fruition now. I'm passionate about financial literacy for kids, especially in underserved communities. I came up with this idea a couple of years ago and it's really kind of getting legs, but I just don't have time to focus solely on it, right? So I'm just throwing it out there. He wanted me to name it, haven't even named it, guys. That's how far along we are. So it would be like a Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts type thing for financial literacy. I love how competitive kids are. I don't love that they're competitive over tennis shoes, right? This is how we develop entrepreneurs. This is how we develop kids to be focused on the right things and having the right conversations. So imagine someone in the community, someone in Rotary from the financial sector puts together a workshop, right? They host that workshop. They have to come up with the curriculum. They have to come up with what's expected. They have to test the kids. And then they provide them with a badge or a token. More importantly, they'll have an app. And I think this is what's fun for the kids. Whoever sponsors that event, that workshop, will then provide that child with their first investment, right? And then you're having conversations around school and in their households about, hey, look at my portfolio. What is yours doing? You know, that kind of thing. So I think there's something really there. It's something, if it's branded properly, it can create a lot of excitement between all of them and really get some legs. Scott Howitt with OCPS, Chief Communications Officer, Pam Carson, she's with the foundation. I spoke to them about this a year ago. We were going to try to put together like a little pilot program over last summer, and life just gets so busy when it's just me. And I know that this is something that's on all of our minds. So if you would like to maybe help me push that initiative forward, I do have a lot of people that say they're committed to helping whenever I'm ready. So.
Thank you so much. So this is people calling us out saying, as Rotarians, I've got this passionate idea and we're going to put the Horsepower Rotary behind them. Because whenever you hang that Rotary banner up, great things happen. So that's two things. We actually have some things that are ongoing, and I'd like to have Mary Ann come up and Jason, and then that's enough for now.
Well, those of you who have been in the club for a number of years know that over the last several years, we've enjoyed a lot of social activities. One of the ones that I've been involved with is a theater night. And Chris wants to move into another theater night and a social event again. I'm inviting any of you who would like to help me plan this and maybe make it more than just going to the theater, a little more social around it. But I could certainly use some input. We have gone the last 2 or 3 years to the Winter Park Playhouse. We've got the Orlando Shakes we did one year. There are lots of theaters out there just to go have fun and enjoy. We need to find something that most everybody would enjoy doing. So that takes several heads together and not just mine. So I'm inviting any of you who are interested, come join me and we'll put this together for next year. That's it.
Thank you. We had a great, Mary Ann organized a great event at the Winter Park Theater, which is closing soon. So, and it was just a ton of fun. It was just hanging out with cool people. Jason's going to talk about a 100-year tradition.
Because it's May, we're thinking about December. Salvation Army bell ringing is coming up. Help with the committee. If you're interested, see me after the meeting. Thank you.
Actually, under budget. I love that. So when I started planning for the year, you know, I found out I was president-elect like 16 months ago. It feels like
I just wanted to talk about the foundation.
you're going to get a shot. Just give me a second. You are on at the end. Just give me a second. Where was I? Planning the year, 16 months ago. It seems like yesterday. I started gathering lists of committees over time. Tammy has a great archive of 20 different versions of how we organize committees and who was on them and what they did and those kind of things. So I created this little slideshow trying to summarize best of who we were today. So much was lost through the fog of COVID. I think there was some attrition even before that. So we're looking back at higher goals. These are the people on the initial list that are in the sort of what I call champion slots or chairs of these groups. Well, I'm going to go through them specifically here in a second. Change the slide. Maybe. Just go one slide. I broke these down into these categories as the major categories of our committees. First and foremost, I think the hardest working job on a day-to-day basis at our Rotary Club is our Sergeant of Arms. Jim Saul is taking some very big shoes from Jim Stowers, who's been wonderful at this. For those of you who have volunteered with them, there's an organized list that goes every week that says who are doing our invocation, our song leader, our happy dollars, all that kind of organizational stuff, setting everything up in this room. Some people are rotating off of that list, and so we're looking for people to step up and help Jim Saul take care of those kind of things. Next. So club administration, it's all the stuff that nobody ever wants to hear about. You know, I'm really focused this year on what I call the membership experience. So all the decisions that we're going to judge of what we do and don't do is going to be, does that make our members' experience better? It may be hard work, it may be social events, but that's a filter that we're applying to that. But then club operations, all the things that Tammy does, all of, you know, working with the secretary and the treasurer and getting those kind of things done. A big importance is not only membership, which we're going to talk about in a second, but retention, making sure that we're do things. It's really hard to get new members, but we lose almost as many members each year as we gain. So, you know, our net attrition is 3 or 5 members to grow each year, and we lose valuable people. So we're looking at those things in our red to blue badge, you know, folks. We've had a red badge committee over time. We want to get that going in to make sure that when somebody comes to Rotary, they truly get the whole experience. Long range planning and leadership. Next. Dan didn't know this. I don't think he's here. I don't think he's here today. But when you sign up to be president-elect, you automatically become membership chair. And, you know, as you hear in every Rotary meeting, if you're a Rotarian, you're a part of the membership committee. So he's going to be reaching out. There's a variety of things. It's not just growing, it's orientation, classifications, looking at our list, making sure we understand, you know, the sort of pieces that are missing. It's like, we don't have a printer associated with the club. So we want to make something, we have to go outside the club. You know, I love, you know, the do business with Rotarians. And so in those classifications, we kind of look to make sure we have all the assets that we need. Next. We've created a new position. I'm working hard to make it a full board position, but right now it's just called public relations. It's going to be probably an ex officio position on our board because our legal counsel says, well, you can't do that. But, you know, we got time. Bill Pieper is amazing at this. He's been amazing at this for a long time, but we've never just sort of had an organized spot on our board to take care of these things. You know, if you remember our, you know, our website 10 years ago, we've come light years in the last 3 years. All through COVID, we were rebranding, creating graphics, all those things. Bill's done an amazing job at that, but he could use help, right? Public relations, coordinating with district communications. He has another part-time job working as a PR person for our district, right? So we need more help with Bill on that. Next. Yeah. Social media. There you go. Some of these people were going to speak, but it's 2 minutes to the hour, so I'm slicing. We are going to save time for foundation now. Ken Chapman, you know, John Stein is one of the best people in our club to walk up and give you a hug, and now you have a new assignment. He's done an amazing job of reorganizing some things as he's begins to scale back a little bit. Ken Chapman has stepped up in a very major way to look over what John calls Title I. I'm not sure that I completely understand that, but it carries these first 4 pieces. John's still taking some of those rules as others are being refined. Eddie Clark has stepped up for wild horsetails, food pantry, all these kind of things are going well. Jason's underneath that and bell ringing. Joe Nosh, who is traveling this week, certainly does an amazing job at Ivy Lane. Next. Youth Services. Where'd Terry go? Terry's husband, Peter, has done amazing things over the years in our youth services. And as you can see by the success of the student that we have here today, there are many things involved in that. RILA is something that we're going to hopefully help Candace take her program to RILA, which is the Youth Leadership Association. An amazing week for children, and I think that's a perfect program to be installed in that. Let's teach our kids how to make money with their money when they're young. Rotaract, Jason, has done a fantastic job with Rotaract over at the college nearby. And this is, I created a name for you. It's youth financial education. They didn't have enough room to write out education. Next. Vocational service. This is something that I think is dormant in our club right now. And we've had some things that was one of my favorite things when I joined was rotating Rotarians, to get a chance to have lunch in somebody else's office and understand what they do for a living. I've had some amazing experiences going other places for 1 meeting a year. COVID killed it. I really think that's an important part of really knowing. If you're going to do business with Rotarians, you ought to go see their businesses, right? It was a great program. We're helping to bring that back. Something that's been on my list is first responder celebration. I'm looking for a committee chair. I'd like to work with us to get the attention of the police, the fire, maybe one of the nurses associations, to have an annual thank you to somebody who's done something spectacular in that first responders. I've seen other organizations do this very well. There are some folks in Orlando who do it on a bigger scale. But I think that's an important thing, is for us to connect. If we are the downtown club, we got to connect to these organizations. So, and we're always looking for more opportunities. Next. I'm trying. Service fundraising. This isn't really a chair position, so I put my name in this slot. But we have several events that are ongoing, and we certainly want to make sure that we keep Rotary horsepower behind those. We talked about some of those already. Next. And finally, although Walt Nason will be our president for the foundation next year, I'd like to have George just speak a minute on some of the great things that are happening and as they look towards next year.
For those of you who
You can come to the microphone. Yeah, for all of our internet friends, including Brazil.
You can hear me. For those of you who are considering volunteering for a committee position or other involvement, put the Rotary Club of Orlando Foundation on the list. We have 8 officers and directors. That's 4 officers and 4 directors that rotate basically every 2 years. Some stay longer. The commitment is for a 2-year period, and we always are looking for people. We need your help and your commitment. You don't have to be a special educated person to be a member of the board of our foundation or other involvement. So give that some consideration along with your other committee considerations. Thank you.
Thank you. And that's pretty much a snapshot in 15 minutes of all the things that are going on behind the scenes. Everybody in this club should be attached to some committee. And if there isn't one that you're mostly interested in, we're happy to create new ones. We created at least 2 this year, and I'd be happy if we had 4 or 5 new ones. The horsepower of Rotary is a valuable brand, and we thank you for everything you do for Rotary. Questions? Yeah. I want to be Biden. I just want to walk out. And just it's coordinated too.
Chris, this is, you did an awesome job of getting this organized for next year. Will you be posting all these committees so that we can look on the website and make it easier for
Yeah,
us to start
Bill,
selecting?
Bill immediately grabs you as soon as you say anything publicly to get it documented in our newsletters. And yeah, so yes. Cool. Thank you so much.
Oh, yeah, right, okay. Tanae, Bill, you got one more? Why don't you just say the mic?
Just a reminder, any of you who have volunteered to help pack the swag bags, let's meet right over here and I'll take you down to where we're doing that. Should take about an hour and a half.
Okay, now the time that everybody's been waiting for. Denny, we're gonna pull a lucky ticket out of the drawing and see who gets the chance to win all that money. Okay,
You know, Tammy's gone, so we have no idea what we're doing. We think we have a little over $1,300 in the pot, though, so it's definitely worth winning this.
all right, let's see who the winner is today. It is, the deck is, it's much smaller than it was when we started. Believe it or not, it's, okay. Person who's got a chance today is 040180. 040180. All right, Dr. Taggart, come on up. That's right. You can't win if you don't buy tickets.
John buys $20 every week, so he deserves to win.
Yeah, that's right. Of all the people in the club, Doc, you really deserve it more than anybody. So go ahead and see if we can pick the lady out today. Oh, not again. Okay. All right. Well, but you get your money back, right? Okay. Denny will take care of reimbursing you. All right. Well, thank you. Here, take that. Thanks. Thanks for everybody's for your attention today. I know we covered a lot of ground on today's meeting and I appreciate everybody staying with us. We are a business club, so remember, do business with Rotarians. Now, if you will all turn your phones back on again and please join me in the four-way test. Of the things we think, say, or do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Our meeting is adjourned.